Hello guys and welcome, ProAcid here, and today I'm going to start a new series on this YouTube channel. So I get a lot of questions from people asking me on how I started my servers and how I run my servers and how they can create their own. So today I'll go through on how I run my servers and what you can do to install your own servers. So first of all, I'll start by saying that you will need some sort of machine or a dedicated server or a VPS or some sort like that to get started on having a 24/7 server. Hosting a server at home, it's not a bad thing because that's how I got started, but it's not going to really benefit and get you out there because people do not want to be on a server that's not on all the time or that it lags or stuff like that. But on the other hand, if you have a good computer at home and you're willing to leave it on for a while, that's a good way to get started. Try to get some donations and you can buy a server. So yeah, once you buy a server or a VPS, and I will leave some websites down on the description on some of the companies that I think are decent enough to get you started with, and they're actually cheap, and I'll put the one that I got started with. It was a VPS company. I got started back in the day, like 2 years ago, and after that I just started growing and getting more and more people joining my server. But yeah, once you get a VPS server, I recommend you get a Linux operating system installed. Linux operating systems are pretty harsh though. You do not have a screen with Windows and all stuff like that. For example, right now I have Windows installed, Windows 7. So you can see everything you're doing. On a Linux operating system, on the other hand, you'll see pretty soon that everything is command based. That's not a bad thing though. It's not that hard to figure out, and Google is gonna be your best friend. Just try to learn through. Honestly, when I got started, I didn't know anything about Linux operating systems, like nothing at all. And now I'm not a professional at it, but I'm pretty decent. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, to get through with this experience, to get the best out of it and make it easier on yourself, you'll need 3 programs. First of all, you'll need Putty. Putty is what you will use to connect to your server. Once you get a server, once you install your server and you pick that you want an OS, I recommend CentOS because it will use the least amount of RAM and it will give you the best performance. That way you'll be able to run and get the most out of your Minecraft server, because you don't want your OS using all your RAM. For example, right now, my OS is using a lot of my RAM, like 3 gigabytes, and I'm running stuff obviously, but even on idle, I think Windows uses around 800 to 900 megabytes of RAM, where on the other hand, the Linux CentOS will use about 63 megabytes. So you can see the big difference right there. And if you have a small VPS, you do not want Windows on it because it's not going to be able to even run Windows on it. Anyways, so you'll need Putty, you'll need Filezilla, so you'll be able to connect to it and change files. Filezilla is the thing I have on my right side hand corner. And once you get here, do not make the mistake and download the server. You will need the client. Because I made the mistake and got the server once, and I was trying to connect for an hour, and I'm like, what have I done wrong? Because I thought that's what I need to connect to a server, but it's an actual server. You don't need that, because we will be using the SFTP mode thing. I'll show you in a little bit. And last but not least, you'll need Notepad++. This is the best thing you can get that's free out there to edit all your files on. And I have an instruction right here, which I used. So this is Notepad++. It has all the lines. You can do everything on it pretty much without needing any other program to edit all your files. And here are all the links that you'll need to these 3 programs. So first of all, let's get started with getting your server ready. So once you get your server, they'll send you an IP and they'll send you a password. So I'm gonna use one of my dedicated servers that I have already. I'm gonna use, which one should we use? I'll use, which one is this? Load. Yeah, I'll use this one. So once you, okay, actually I should go through it first, right? My manners. Okay, so here you'll put your host IP, so the IP they give you, and in this case I'll use this one. Let me make sure it's the same one as here. Yep, it is the .82. They'll give you an IP, so you'll put your IP in there, and the port leave it at 22 and put SSH, and then just press open. Now once you're here, you will say login as. You should be root, and they will give you the password. So do root, press enter, and then in here you will ask you to put your password. Your password will not show up once you type it. So once you start typing, nothing is gonna show up. I think I put the wrong one. I have a few of them, and the passwords are different. Let me think. Come on, yay. Okay. It probably shows my IP and everything. I might have to hide some stuff. Anyway, once you get connected, that's your operating system. So that's an actual machine. That's a dedicated server. That's a computer, in a few words. Once you get in here, you'll need to install a few things. I always get started by installing php-MyAdmin, MySQL, and Apache. You'll need these things for later on because everything you'll run on your server, you might need something to put on a site. So you can host a site actually on your server. And what else? You can have your MySQL databases, which is one of the most important things when running a Minecraft server. You'll need those things. And php-MyAdmin will help you edit those MySQL databases in a visual form, so you do not have to use the command line, which oftentimes, it gets really harsh using the commands to edit stuff, like simple stuff, because it takes a lot of workaround and stuff like that. But php-MyAdmin, you'll see it will make everything visual. It'll be so much easier. So let's get started. First of all, you'll need, I have already done this, I will not do this with you, but I'll show you what you'll need to do. And the order of these things matters, so please follow these instructions the way I have them. Once you get your server, you want to make sure that it's up to date. So the first command you want to run will be yum update. It will be like that, and it will check for updates, and it says mine is up to date and not have to do anything. Then after that, you'll need to run this command. From now on, I'll just pronounce this as yum or or I'll just say yum. Yum install httpd. That's Apache. Once you install that, once you run that command, it will go through, and I'll just run it with you. It will ask me to install it. I'll press no, but in this case you can press yes. So once you do that, it will go through. Give it a second or a little more, and in this case it will say that I have it because I already have it. But for you, it will say, you will have a box that says you want to enter yes or no, and all you have to do is enter Y and press enter. For down, it will not do anything because there's nothing there. Now, once you install that, you want to go on your Filezilla, and this is where Filezilla comes in. You'll have to enter your server into your site manager. To enter the server into your site manager, you click this little button up here, and then you're gonna enter a new site, and I'll enter test here, for example. And in here, you will enter your server IP, which I think I copied it. I didn't. I copied something else before it. Your server IP, your port, which is 22. So I'll put your IP, your server IP, not your own IP. And then instead of FTP, you'll click SFTP. This will use SSH, so you do not have to install an FTP server into your Linux operating system. It's just too much hassle to do that. I just use SFTP. It's the easiest thing. Then instead of anonymous, you'll click normal. This goes your root user, so your root, and your password goes here. And you'll click connect. Once you click connect, you'll be faced with something similar to this. And now we want to go to this file location. So I'll just copy the first part, like so. It needs a slash on the first, I forgot. There you go. And we need this, the httpd.conf. So I'll copy that on my desktop or inside this thing. And this is where Notepad++ comes in hand. You can click edit with Notepad++ and boom, it will open here. Now we want to go to line 276. We'll scroll down to line 276. There you go. That's the line we need. Now make sure you copy this line over, like so. Or if you have Notepad++, you go right at the end. Whoops. right at the end, and you hold Control and press D, and it will copy that over for you. Then remove the hashtag, because that commented it out. So that means anything that has this little hashtag means that the file will not even read, the server will not even bother with anything following after that tag. And yeah, we don't want that, because we want it to actually read that. And when it says server name, you'll put your server IP address, colon, and the 80. That's what you need. Once you do that, you want to save the file. Like, I'm not going to save it because I don't want to change anything. Once you save it, you'll drag it back into here, and you'll press overwrite, and you're done. Now, once you do that part, you go back into Putty, not into that, into Putty, and you'll have to do yum start httpd, I think, or restart if it's already running. But I think it's start, if I remember correctly. Yep, it's start. Oh, it's actually service, my bad. Service httpd start. That will start your server. Once you start your server, you want to run this other command. This command will make sure that if you ever restart your server, Apache will start by default. So this is your auto run on start, like on Windows where programs run when you start your server. That's what this will do, and it will make sure that it starts every time your server reboots or anything like that. Now once you got that done, you're pretty much ready to go to the next step, which is installing MySQL. MySQL is a faster way of dealing with files and data. So this is what your mostly servers will use for faster processing. Because flat files are usually slower, and if you're going to deal with massive data, you might as well just use MySQL. Once you get in here, you'll need to run this command. I'm not going to run them right now. You can just copy them from this description. They should run just fine. It's yum install mysql -server, and then service mysqld start, and then you'll run this command again, which says that it will make sure it will run every time the server starts. This is the service mysqld, and then this is where you will set your your MySQL password. So you'll copy this over, and you'll put your password in here. Keep the apostrophes or whatever they're called. Keep them, do not remove them. Just replace whatever you wanted in here as your password, and that will be your MySQL password. And remember it, please do not forget it, because you'll have to uninstall it and reinstall MySQL to fix that. It's just a big hassle. Just remember your password, it's a lot easier. Once you do that, you will need to install PHP. PHP is used by phpMyAdmin to show you the files online and be able to edit MySQL databases. So in your Putty, again, you'll run yum install phpMysql, both of those. So we will install two things. You'll click Y and Y. Just Y means yes, so you'll be prompted with a Y-N. And you'll enter the letter Y and press enter. That's all, and then it will install. Once you do that, you'll restart your Apache. So service httpd restart. You'll say OK and OK. If something went wrong, you want to troubleshoot it. Nothing ever has gone wrong with in my servers on that part, and I've done it 6-7 times already. So I don't think you should have issues. Where I have most of my issues when installing phpMyAdmin is not having correct access to my files. So I'll show you that in a little bit. Once you do that, once you're done with those two commands, you're done with PHP. Now we go to phpMyAdmin. You will want to run this command, which will install, it's like a database kind of thing where you'll know where to get your phpMyAdmin. Then you'll do check update. Once you run that, and then you'll install it, and then you'll restart it. If it still says okay, and you try to go to your website /phpMyAdmin and it doesn't work, let me just show you. Just copy that. Go to your browser and put that /phpMyAdmin. Boom. For me, it works. It will say right now, enter your username and password. But it didn't work at first, so I want to show you what you have to do to fix that. It didn't work at first, and it took me over 3 hours troubleshooting, trying to find what the hell was wrong. So this is what it was wrong. You'll have to open your Filezilla again, and we'll have to go to this place. Let's go to that place, boom. And in here, you'll need to get php-MyAdmin.conf. That's your config file for php-MyAdmin. You will not have that file unless you install php-MyAdmin, so do not look for it right now. You'll have to look for it after you have done all the previous steps. In here, you want to press Ctrl F and look for this line. Let me just find it. It's like accept all or something. Yes, deny all. So just put that thing in there and you look for where it is. So you'll find it says deny from all, and you'll comment it out. It will be like this, but you'll put a hashtag in front of it. And just press find until you find all of them. As you see, there's more there. Just find all of them and comment them out. Put the hashtag. There's quite a few of them, so make sure you find them all. Let me just count. There's 5 of them. So make sure you comment out 5 of them and you'll be fine. Once you do that, put it, we don't want to save it. Okay, once you get that, you put it back in, you press override. I'll just override it because it doesn't really matter. And then you'll do you'll just run the same command you ran before, which is the one that restarts your Apache, which is this one. So you'll want to run this one. I'll just run for you to see what you get. It says stopping httpd and then starting it again. Once you do that, should be ready to go. No issues there at all. Now, once you go back to here, it will prompt you with something like this. Make sure you have pop-ups enabled, because if you don't, your browser will not get this message or this window thing. So you enter root, and then the password you entered when you set up MySQL. Boom, boom, boom. What thing is that? Nope. I'll try, wait. Hopefully there's nothing too private showing in here. No, okay, that's pretty good. Nice. And here it is. Everything we worked for is finally here. Now here's where you can edit everything you need into your MySQLs and everything like that. For example, if you need a database, you go to databases and you create one. Let's create one, Proacid Rocks, which is pretty self-explanatory, and you press create, and then done. On your plugins, you will just set up your local host as your IP, and you will have the ports there. You will say database, you enter this, your password is the password you entered when you try to log in, and your user is root. And that's it. You have a running MySQL database on your machine. There. A massive part of this tutorial is done. I like to get this done early on into our server installation, because I will need these later on for sure. I mean, you have no idea how much you will need these when I'll be showing later on how I created all my servers. I'll be showing you how to install bungee cord, which will connect all your servers into one machine, or one IP in this case. And yeah, now another important stuff which you should not forget is that you need to have Java installed, because Minecraft needs Java. Once you get this, you'll just copy this from the description and you'll go on your server and you will run this, and that will install Java for you. Once you install Java, you'll need to install another one which is called Screen. You'll do yum install Screen, which I forgot, not Scream, it's Screen with an M. And my bad. Gosh, I'll just copy this over. By the way, if you're copying something from Putty, all you gotta do is highlight. You don't gotta do anything else after that. There you go. So that's what you'll need to do later, not installing Java though, but you'll need Screen. Screens are like your Windows, these kind of Windows. Not Windows as the operating system, but Windows like this. And when you can minimize stuff, they will stay still running. Without it, once you would minimize this, once you would get out of your Putty, once you press X and exit, your server would actually go down. So this was another thing that I ran into when I was getting ready with my Minecraft server. Now, once you do this, you're ready to install a Minecraft server. and I'll see you in a little bit once I have everything ready for that. See you soon. Welcome back, guys. So now we're ready to install an actual Minecraft server into your newly bought Linux operating system or Linux dedicated machine or VPS, whatever you have. Good for you. Let's get started. Once you get it, now you have a choice to make. You will either want to get SpeedGot or SpyJa, whatever this thing is, or you will want to get CraftBucket. I would recommend to anyone running a big server getting SpeedGot right from the start and setting it up correctly. You'll need this to run it with bungee cord. You'll need this for later on. If you want to create a multi-server network, you will need this for sure. Like, this is the only option pretty much. I mean, there are some other ones out there, but I think this is the best one. Or you can go with a normal CraftBucket. Both of these will do fine, but they're for different purposes. Well, sort of. This one has everything this one has. It's optimized to be used for bigger servers. It will save you on RAM. It will have less lag and all that. So I would recommend getting this one right off the start. But if you want to go with CraftBucket because that's what you're used to and that's you want to play it safe, you can go with this one just fine, no problem. So I'll show you how to do it with both, and you can choose whatever fits your needs. Well, let's go into Filezilla once again. Once you, oh my god, okay, anyways, once you get here, once you log in back into your server, by connecting to it, it will have like this. This is going to be your root directory. You do not want to install stuff here because your server does not have all the space saved in here usually. Everything is under home. So you'll have to go to the 3 dots, or the 2 dots in this case, and you have to go back to home. So home, and create a folder in here. Craft Realms is my server network, so I have that. But for you, you'd have to create a new one. I'll just name this YouTubes. YouTubes I can type today. In here, you want to create another one just to keep it pretty cool and organized. And I'll name this one. Let's say it's going to be a PvP server. So I'll just name this PvP. Now we'll go in there. Now this is the path leading to this folder and we want to go to it. So highlight it and copy it. Now do CD, CD stands for change directory, and then paste it. To paste something in Linux or in Putty, not Linux, in Putty, you just have to right click. Not Control V, you just right click. Literally, just right click. Hold your mouse there, right click, it will paste it. If you cannot paste for some reason, just do CD space / do home. You can also autocomplete with tab. I was gonna say home, I don't know. Anyway, with tab you press YouTube after that, you autocomplete, and you do PvP, enter. Now it will say here, then you can tell that you're inside this folder, and you have to get a CraftBucket. Okay. Okay, so once you find the actual site, which will not take you as long as it took me, I guarantee you that. Now you'll see right under last successful artifacts, you right click on that thing and do copy link address. And now do the same thing, WGET and space, and this time it should start downloading. Pretty good. I don't know why I didn't download the one from CraftBucket. That's just really weird. I want to try it again because it should have worked. Anyways, if it doesn't work, just download it on your computer and upload it in here. Pretty much that's it. I just wanted to save the hassle from uploading, downloading, and all that. Anyways, once you get this, assuming that you're having CraftBucket or anything like this, just rename this again to, let's rename this to I'll actually rename it to server.jar. So this is the name of the server. Now we want it to run the server. In Linux, to run files, you need an sh script, so .sh script. To create this, just use the normal text file and open it, and you'll paste this code that I have in the description. Now this is a good place because as you saw, I changed the name to server, so we don't want CraftBucket anymore. We want server in here. And every time you update your jar, make sure you name it server, or you come in here and change the name. Now here's what the amount of RAM you can use. I will just leave it at 1 GB for now. I'll save it, and in this case, okay, I'll just show you. In this case, you'd go File, Save As, you'll name it start.sh, and then make sure that under save as type, it's all types. Click save, and in this case I will replace it, but for you it shouldn't ask you to replace it. Put this file in the same directory as your jar, so just uploading it over. And since we're already at this directory, but if you're not, make sure you do cd and then that directory to make sure we're in here. And now we want to run that file. Now, as I said earlier, Linux though does not run things the same way. If you run it by just doing sh and then start that sh, it will run this, but it will run it only as long as you have this thing open. If you close your window, if you close Putty, the program will stop running. To fix that, you'll need screen, which we installed earlier. So you'll do screen space dash s. Here you put the name. So I want to be this a test server, and then after that you do what do we do? Screen s test sh, and then you do start that sh and press enter. Once you do that, it will start. Okay, it just said some crazy stuff right there, but it's creating everything. As you see, we got everything set up and our Minecraft server is running, but it probably does not have the correct IP address, which I'll fix right now, right after it's done. So now, an important thing to notice: getting out of this screen, you need to hold Control A and D. You might have to do it faster. Do not hold them for an hour. So to get out of that screen, you do Control A D all together. So you press, but in order. So press Control, then A, then D, in that order. But do it fast. Do not hold them for a while, like I did. Now to open it back, you do Screen R for resume, and then the screen name. But if you do not remember, do LS, and it will show you all the screens that are running. Right now I have a PvP server running in here, but you will not have anything else. So you do screen R and then the name of the server. So I'll put the screen, my bad, the screen. And then it will open again. In here, this is your console, so you can run all the commands you would want to run in a console, like list, up, everything. This is your actual server console. To get to close this screen, you'd have to do stop. Or if you want to force close it, you just do Control C, I think. Stopping server, yep, done. So now we got a server running. Now we want to set the IP. You need to get the server properties file, server.properties, from your server directory, and we want to change stuff in here. First of all, we want to make sure that the IP it has is the server's IP. So under server IP, we put your dedicated machine IP, and the port, you want to put the port you want. In this case, I'll just leave it at that. Actually, I'll put, I don't know what the port my PvP server is using. Let's just leave it at that for now. Once you save that file, you want to re-upload it in here, and you want to replace it, and we want to run that server again. So you will say that it's probably using a little less RAM than it needs, blah blah, and now we will start Minecraft, and I'll see you once it's ready. Okay, so once you're back, oh, that's my server right now. Anyway, so you'll direct connect to it, and let's just go with 255. That's the IP. Enter. Boom. It should say in the console that I joined, and ta-da! You have a Minecraft server running. It blocks my freaking Camtasia, messes up with my FPS. Anyway, so once you do that, you have a Minecraft server running in your Linux operating system, and then from there on after, it's a normal Minecraft server, and you can do anything you want it to do. So guys, this has been a long, in-depth tutorial, but I think if you're going to watch the next of my videos, which I'll show you what I have installed on my servers and all that, you will want to have these things installed right now. Save yourself the trouble and go through this tutorial. If you need help, please message me. I will try to help as many people as I can. Do not message me your Putty information login, so like your root password and all that, because if those get lost, I don't want to be responsible for them, and if they do get lost, I take no responsibility. So if you send them to me and then your server somehow gets hacked, I will not give your information anywhere, obviously, but who knows? I mean, the internet is a weird place. If your stuff gets lost and then you start blaming me, I'm telling you right now, I take no responsibility. So please think well before you send me any information like that. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope my time was worthwhile, and I hope you actually learned something new today. And if you need help, as I said, message me. It's not going to be easy running a server on a Linux operating system, because stuff is actually pretty different than it would be on a computer. But it's worth it. You'll have your Minecraft server. You'll be your very own. You'll grow your own user base. You'll grow your own community. You will do things the way you want them to be and not have to deal with some owner like me who you have no choice, and tyranny all over the place and all that. Anyways, guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to leave a like below, or a comment, or feedback, anything like that, it's so much appreciated. I want to start this series and have you guys join along with me, and show you what kind of plugins I recommend on how to run your own network, as I said earlier, to have many servers connected under one IP, where you do server blah blah here, right? That thing, it will have multiple servers running. It will save you a lot of lag, because no server can hold like 1,000 people or 10,000 people like Mineplex or all those big servers. I keep mumbling. I gotta get my videos shorter. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope to see you soon.